Shop the Sherwin-Williams Memorial Day sale and get 30% off paints and stains May 16th through the 26th. With prices starting at $34.29, it's the perfect time to transform your space with color. Whether you're looking to revamp your bedroom, living room, or home office, we have you covered with bold hues, soothing neutrals, and everything in between. Shop the sale online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Click the banner to learn more. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Today's episode is sponsored by NerdWallet's Smart Money Podcast. Making financial decisions shouldn't feel like picking a TV show. Too many options, too much hype, and no way to know what's actually good. NerdWallet's Smart Money Podcast cuts through the clutter. Their finance journalists break through real-world money decisions with clear research-backed insights. From investing to home buying to credit cards, the nerds help you navigate major financial decisions with confidence. Leave TV to fate. Leave your next financial move to the nerds. Follow NerdWallet's Smart Money Podcast wherever you listen.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of True Crime Time for Thursday, May the 22nd, 2025, and I'm Woody Overton.
I'm Cyndi Overton.
Coming to bring you some news.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yes, we got a plethora of different stories, right?
Yes.
Are you surprised because I said plethora?
No, I'm not.
I mean, I'm sure I've used that word before.
You have definitely used that word before.
All right. Well, we love and appreciate each and every one of y'all. Thank you for liking and listening and sharing, and leave us a review if you're so inclined. And just love you, love you, love you. Thank you, Patreon Convicts, and thank you to our national sponsors also, right?
Yes.
There's a lot of them, and that's the nature of the business. But if you don't want to listen to the commercials, you certainly can go to patreon.com. Look up Real Life Real Crime, or go download the Real Life Real Crime Community app in the App Store for free. Check out the convict sections. You get commercial-free early releases and a shit ton of other stuff.
Yes. I wanted to tell you very quickly, UPS delivered something, and I was like, I didn't order anything. So,
I didn't order anything.
I know you didn't. But one of our new sponsors, True Diagnostic, who gives you your real age, you do little blood things and it tells you like your real age, and it gives you a lot of other information. Your package. I mean, I'll do it unless if you.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna see if I can't break it.
We're gonna send it in and get the results back, but we're going to begin their commercials, I think June 1.
Okay.
And so we won't have the information back by then, but just know that when we're talking about it, it's because we used it,
Yeah. It'd be breaking news because I guarantee you, I'll tell you exactly how old they say I am. So that should be interesting for sure. And thank you to them and all the rest of our sponsors. But what do you have for us today? I'm
going to start us off in Masonville, New York. Mm-hmm. Where I'm going to take us back to September of 2024.
Okay.
So it's not way back.
No. What? Not even a year.
Not even a year. But a horrible murder occurred on September 4th. So there was a couple. The man is Drew Garnier and his wife, Samantha. And they had 2 young girls. And Samantha was pregnant, and Drew was not happy with the sex of the baby. Okay.
So they had a gender reveal and he didn't like it.
I guess so. He just wasn't happy with the gender. I don't know about the reveal part, but Samantha.
You can't find out the gender unless it's revealed.
Well, I was thinking of now social media terms of gender reveals where they have like
I don't know about
all of the confetti flying in there. You cut a piece of cake and it's blue or pink and all that. So that when you said reveal, my brain went to that.
He's not happy with the baby.
He is definitely not happy with the sex of the child.
What did he do?
On the night of September 4th, Drew stabbed Samantha multiple times, which fatally wounded her and their unborn daughter. He then turned the knife on their 2 daughters, 9-year-old Adelina and 6-year-old Izzy, and inflicted severe injuries on both of them. First responders arrived at the scene because Drew called 911 and said, I just killed my family.
Okay.
Responders arrived at the scene. Samantha was then airlifted to Wilson Medical Center, but was pronounced dead shortly after arrival. And so was her unborn baby. The two girls were transported to local hospitals. They survived the attack and they had critical injuries, but they survived, which is amazing.
Right.
But in the aftermath, Drew was arrested and initially charged with second-degree murder and 2 counts of second-degree attempted murder. Drew also had stab wounds and self-inflicted stab wounds on him. So that's another piece. But however, in March of 2025, he entered a plea deal. He admitted guilt to first-degree manslaughter and 2 counts of first-degree assault. And this agreement was part of an effort, obviously, to spare, which I always want a plea deal, right? I want them to plead guilty because I don't want the children to have to get up and testify and go relive that. So that's what they cite as his reasoning for that. At the sentencing on May 15th, Samantha's father, Gregory, delivered a powerful victim impact statement.
Yeah.
He revealed that Drew's motive was rooted in his disappointment over the unborn child's gender. He wanted a boy, and he also shared that he had adopted his granddaughters, stating, "I am their father now. I will protect them." And then Judge John Hubbard sentenced Drew Garnier to 30 years in prison, followed by 15 years of supervised release.
That's not enough time.
Additionally, a no-contact order was issued prohibiting him from any communication with his daughter until the year 2056. And I don't think that's long enough either. Go ahead. The judge emphasized the gravity of Garnier's action, saying, "You took lives and injured your children. They have a right to expect protection from you."
That's all kinds of fucked up.
Yeah.
And 30 years for doing what he did. I guess the kids didn't have to testify, but hopefully the dude never gets a shot.
Yeah, the district attorney says, we were able to secure this conviction without forcing, like we said, 2 young children to testify about what they witnessed and endured.
And hopefully they're getting all the help and everything they need, right?
Right.
All right. Get the elephant in the room out of the way. And there are so many Diddy stories that I'm just going to read you the headlines again on some of them.
Okay.
Because it's full-blown trial carrying on this week. They had another male escort called the Punisher come in and testify today or whatever. But just let me read this. Some of these stories are so stupid and out of bounds to me. Like, I think did I tell them about last week? Like, one of the headlines was P. Diddy's daughters go to prom.
Yeah. Well, maybe not. You did read that to me.
But that's the kind of shit that they are. So instead of reading each one, because I'm sure you're all getting an earful from everybody else, I'll just read you some of these headlines, okay? First one says, Aubrey O'Day says Sean Diddy Combs' trial is bittersweet. I've been speaking the truth about Diddy for 20 years. Now, I don't even know who that is, but evidently she's somebody famous, right?
Yes.
All right. Do you know who she is?
I only know that she makes a lot of TikToks and says those exact words all the time.
All right. Well, here's the next one that I was just talking about. Diddy's twin daughters, Jesse and Delilah, 18, attend their high school prom in L.A. after appearing at father's criminal trial. Okay. Really? All right. So the next one. Sean Diddy Combs' ex, Misa Hilton, speaks out after attending court to support their son amid rapper sex trafficking trial. All right. They're going to talk to the plumber next. The next one, Dawn Richard testifies Usher and others were present when Diddy allegedly punched Cassie in the stomach. Okay. Well, there y'all, this is just headline after headline after headline, and it's all Diddy. Here's another one. Diddy allegedly attacked Cassie's friend with a wooden hanger. Then she begged Cassie to leave him. That's another testimony. Next one. Diddy trial day 6 live. Former Danity Kane member Dawn Richard begins day on the witness stand. All right. I'm sure y'all know what that's about. I don't think I'm ever going to find out. Next one. Diddy used hammer to try to break down Cassie's door after showing up at her apartment following the hotel assault. Right? I mean, this is like nonstop, y'all. This from all the national news agencies. I mean, I guess they're trying to each one find something somebody hasn't covered. Next one. Diddy said he had Cassie right where I wanted her because she was young and moldable. And that's another assistant testified to that. Next one. Sean Diddy Combs' hotel room had baby oil, pink ketamine, and $9,000 cash. See newly revealed evidence photos. Okay. Next one, because you don't have to go far. Next one. Diddy carried pills with Obama's face on them. Ex-assistant testifies. All right. I mean, that's so relevant, right? Anyway. Next one. Sex worker employed at Diddy's Freak-Offs was former reality star whose life took a dark turn. Okay. I don't know who it is. Don't care. The next one. Why Diddy made assistant take lie detector tests administered by an ex-FBI agent. Now I want to talk about this one for a half a second because I did read it because obviously I'm a polygraphist. This guy gets up there and says he became Diddy's personal assistant within 2 years. And the first time he was accused of taking money, and he said the guy, ex-FBI agent, I don't know who the hell it is. First of all, you can't force your employees to take, under 1988 Employee Polygraph Protection Act, you have to go through a shit ton of legal hurdles just to get, and you can't, I mean, you have to ask them, would they be willing to take, and then they got sign a form, and you got to give them 72 hours, and and it can't be used against them. Well, guess what? He passed his first one, and then within 2 years, some juror went missing, and he was forced to take another one. He said, I was sweating and Well, motherfucker, everybody takes a polygraph, sweats. But he passed it, and he said that Diddy replaced some of the stolen diamonds with fake diamonds. I mean, that's the kind of shit they're digging up. And all right, next one. Exotic dancer testifies he was paid to do something for Diddy at Trump Tower with one unusual request.
Do they say the unusual request?
I didn't even read it, but I'll read it for you real quick if you want to know. So Shara Hayes testified on Tuesday. This is how far back we are. It's a male exotic dancer, and he was paid $800 to stage a sexy scene for Combs and then girlfriend Cassandra Cassidy Ventura while avoiding eye contact with the music mogul. Shara Hayes, also known as the Punisher, told jurors in Manhattan in federal court on Tuesday, May 20th, that he was called to Trump Tower Hotel's suite in the fall of 2012 when Ventura greeted him wearing a wig as well as a bathrobe and nothing underneath. Hayes is now 51. Testified that Ventura handed him a sack of money with $800 on the side. That's not a very big sack.
No.
And told him to create a sexy scene of me and her applying baby oil on each other and create a sexy environment that her husband would come upon, like he just walked in accidentally.
Oh, okay.
She said, do not acknowledge her husband. Try not to look at him and no communication. This is what the Punisher is saying. Whatever. I'm not reading myself shit. Let's go to the next one. Next one. Diddy trial day 7 live. Diddy's former personal assistant, Cassie's mom, both testify. Okay. Next one. Cassie's mom testifies Diddy extorted $20,000 from her, and it had to do with Kid Cudi, whoever that is. Next one. Kid Cudi expected to testify at Sean Diddy's Combs trial this week. I mean, you can't. I've never seen a story that had this many freaking headlines in it about one case ever. So next one, what feds found in Diddy's closet? Astroglide, baby oil, and a rubber duck. Okay. Right? Next one, Diddy trial day 8, live witnesses testimony continues with Kid Cudi. I guess I'm saying that right. But having a possible appearance this week. Because it matters, right? And I'm just going to stop there. And that is what it is. So, y'all, if you're interested in it, there's a million and one shows covering it. I know Jim Chapman on Exposed Files, Scandalous Elite, is covering it. Super in depth. Go check it out. Hot sleepers, listen up. This one's for you. You probably know Avocado Green mattresses for their certified organic mattresses, but did you know they also make unbelievably breathable natural bedding? From soft organic cotton sheets to light as air as silk and lofty down duvets. Their bedding is designed to naturally regulate temperature and to keep you cool and comfy and sleeping soundly all night. Hey, and let's be real. When you're swapping out jeans for shorts and turning up the AC, it's probably time to refresh your bed too, because we sleep better when we sleep cool, and nothing sleeps cooler than natural organic bedding. What I love about Avocado's bedding is how breathable and temperature regulating it is. Whether you're wrapped up in that organic cotton sheet or under their down or silk duvet inserts, you're staying cool, dry, and comfortable all night. No more waking up in a sweat. Plus the feel, the total luxury. These are the kind of sheets you look forward to climbing into. Their cotton is soft from night one and gets even better with every wash. And don't get me started on the down duvet. It's like sleeping under a perfectly cool cloud. And of course, everything is made with sustainability in mind, from GOTS certified organic cotton to responsible down standard certification. So you're not just investing in a better night's sleep. You're supporting ethical, eco-conscious practices, better for you, better for the planet. Head to avocadomattress.com today to save 10% on all bedding and 50% on clearance bedding. Avocado is the dream of being better. Summer's just around the corner, and the folks at Mint Mobile have a hot take. Getting the summer bod is out, and getting your savings bod is in. This spring and summer, we want skimpy wireless bills and fat wallets. And with premium wireless plans for just $15 a month, you can have both without breaking a sweat or the bank. I was paying way too much for wireless service and decided to give Mint Mobile a try, and I've been seriously impressed. The call quality is crystal clear, the data speeds are fast, and I'm saving hundreds of dollars. It's the easiest switch I ever made, and I didn't have to sacrifice a thing. Say bye-bye to your overpriced wireless plans, dropping monthly bills, and unexpected overages. Mint Mobile is here to rescue you. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text, delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all your existing contacts. Ditch overpriced wireless and get 3 months of premium wireless service from Mint Mobile for $15 a month. This year, skip breaking a sweat and breaking the bank. Get your summer savings and shop premium wireless plans at mintmobile.com/RLRC. That's mintmobile.com/RLRC. Upfront payment of $45 for a 3-month, 5-gigabyte plan required. It's equivalent to $15 a month. New customer offer for first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees are extra. See Mint Mobile for details. All right. So let me get to, I got so many like unique actual crime stories. I'm not that Diddy in a crime, but they real life crime stories that don't get the news. Right. You know, I like some fried chicken.
You do.
Yeah, and I'm kind of connoisseur of fried chicken.
Because that goes kind of with your wings. Yeah.
Yeah. And I try it, you know, pretty much everywhere I go, kind of like, yeah, like the wings or Bloody Marys, right? But you know, I love me some Popeyes.
Love that chicken.
Popeyes, right? And Al Copeland's Junior, I knew him from St. Stanislaus way back in the day. And I remember when Senior used to fly in, he had this big Chinook helicopter with Popeyes painted on it. And he would land it in the lot beside the school, and there would be a Mississippi State trooper waiting on him every Friday to write him a ticket. And I asked him, said, why do you land there when you know you're going to get a ticket? He said, if I can afford to fly this bird, I can afford to land it where I want to.
That's right.
And we also I had the case where a dude went in Popeyes and Walker and he's the one that I coined the phrase, ran like a little bitch on and shot his wife, and then ultimately decapitated her almost.
Till death do us part.
To death do us part. Y'all go check that one out. Real Life Real Crime original. Let's go to North Carolina, because Popeyes is famous everywhere now, right? And they got, you know, pretty reasonable chicken. I mean, as far as on my chicken scale.
Yes.
The spicy. Of course, I like the spicy.
There's also a trend now where people are doing their birthday parties at Popeyes.
Really?
Yes. Like they're literally just showing up and having birthday parties. Anyway.
Must be nice. Well, in North Carolina, this one Popeyes you didn't want to be in because they got a 22-year-old who has been charged with attempted first-degree murder. And this happened on May 11th. So, but he is a Popeyes or was a Popeyes employee.
Okay.
See, he's working at a Popeyes. Mm-hmm. And he, one of the things I like about Popeyes is the biscuits.
Oh my God.
They are good butter flavor. I mean, I'm sure it's probably real butter, but whatever, but the biscuits are very good. Now, you get your biscuit pretty much with any chicken order you're going to get.
You do.
I like their seasoned fries too. But this guy was working with another guy and they were making some biscuits. Mm-hmm. And then they got into an argument over the biscuits and he shot the victim. All right. So Rodney Wood, who's 22, was arrested in Charlotte, North Carolina, about 6 p.m. local time on Sunday, May the 11th. That's according to Mecklenburg County arrest records. And he's been charged with attempted first-degree murder and assault with a deadly weapon with intent to kill.
Yeah.
Right? Pretty fucking sure you shoot somebody, you have intent to kill.
Right.
But I guess they got to put that on there for whatever reason. So the fight began inside the Popeyes, which on South Boulevard over there. And according to the police report, a customer witnessed the incident, said that Wood got into an argument with a fellow employee over burnt biscuits.
Oh, well, that's a whole other story.
That's worth going to prison for the rest of your life. Mm-hmm. So the witness said the employees took the argument outside after one challenged the other. Like, motherfucker, you want to talk about my burnt biscuits? Take this shit outside. Bitch, I'll show you a burnt biscuit. Well, they did. And they went outside and it led to a fight. And old boy Wood pulls out a gun and shot the other employee 2 times.
Damn.
Right?
Over burnt biscuits.
Burnt biscuits. And unlike the Popeyes and Walker, when they had cameras everywhere and I had to lie to the guy and I told him I had him on camera, et cetera, to get the confession and the cameras weren't actually working.
Right.
This Popeyes cameras were working.
Well, good for them.
So in court documents, the police say that the video taken from the scene shows Wood discharging his firearm twice at point blank range. That means close as fuck, right? So they said the bullets hit the victims, and it hadn't released a stain, in the groin and chest. Ooh, I'm pretty sure I'd rather take 2 to the chest than 1 to the groin.
Oh my gosh.
He was rushed to Atrium Health Carolina's medical center where he underwent emergency surgery. Now, Woods, he ran like a little bitch. Fitting in a Popeye store, right? He ran like a little bitch after he did the double shooting, pulled the trigger twice. But the cops found him shortly after in the same shopping center as the restaurant. So he didn't get far.
No.
Right?
Yeah. Probably hiding in plain sight.
Probably so. He then tells the cops that his coworker had punched him in the face 3 times once they stepped outside. And he claimed that he fired 2 warning shots that were not intended to be fatal. Well.
Shouldn't have fired shots.
How the fuck you working at Popeyes and you carrying a gun? So, however, the cops said that Wood failed to articulate a credible imminent threat of deadly force necessary to support his self-defense claim under the state law. Both Wood and the victim were managers at the Popeyes location. And so, managers, they must be making a shit ton of money, right? To be rolling with pistols. Mm-hmm. Come on, man. What's next? Fast food employees got to have a metal detector to go to work?
Well, they went outside. And that's probably where he got his gun.
You don't know that? They went out. The witness said they went outside and started fist fighting, and he pulled a gun and shot him. He didn't say he ran to his car and got him.
Okay.
So anyway, there you go, Popeyes. And Popeyes, love that chicken from Popeyes. My favorite chicken place, y'all, just closed down. There was a hole-in-the-wall gas station in my hometown in Clinton, Louisiana, our hometown where we were raised. And I don't know how they made this chicken so good. It was a huge pieces of chicken. And I went in there like 4:00 in the morning one night. My swim went in there at 4:00 in the morning one night, just hammered. And now in the morning time, they start to serving like bacon and biscuits and shit like that. They had all this chicken up there, and Swim's like, knew the guys. He was like, man, what you going to do with all that chicken? And they were like, we're going to sell it. I said, well, you got to give me a good deal. I know it's been sitting up there for a minute. And Swim ultimately walked out with like 75 pieces of chicken.
For like $10.
Like $40. Yeah, anyway, so that happened. But get your chicken.
When I know another time when Swim went in at the other location in Greensburg, and they knew who you were.
Yeah, right.
They had been told.
They knew who Swim was.
They did know who Swim.
Chicken fetish. Well, no, I'm not even going there because it reminds me of the chicken story.
I was going to say, I don't think that would be.
All right, what you got?
I got a.
Tell us a story that the people don't know about.
Well, they don't know about this one. This one, we're going to France.
France? So it's time for worldwide crime. What's happening in France, the land of French fries?
In February of 2023, Philippe Schneider, he was a 69-year-old former butcher and pizza chef.
Yeah, I love me a good butcher.
Right?
And probably a pizza chef, too.
Right.
I like pizza.
I know. This speaks to you. Along with his partner, who was 45 years old. So he had a younger woman, Natalie Cabuse.
All right.
And they attempted to rob their neighbor, who was 60, and his name was George Michler.
Okay.
I'm trying to pronounce these French names right. And they were in the remote village.
Nobody cares if you get the name right.
Of Brosque, France.
Even if you got that name wrong, they don't care.
Okay.
You're doing great.
So Michler was known to live as a recluse in a small stone house without electricity or running water. So Schneider and Cabuse decided that they were going to burglarize him. Mm-hmm. Okay. So they confessed that during the burglary, they tied and gagged Michler, which only intending to steal money and cannabis from him. They tied him up, they gagged him. Then for whatever reason, they went back and they found him dead.
Right.
Okay. So he had suffocated from the gag. So in an attempt to cover the crime, the butcher dismembered Michler's body, burned his head, his hands, his feet, and scattered the remains around the property and in Michler's van. Mm. He also admitted to cooking parts of the body with vegetables, claiming it was part of a ritual he had learned in Nepal to mask the smell.
He could tell me what it tastes like.
Well, he just wanted to mask the smell, I guess, of the boiling.
I wouldn't waste vegetables on it if you weren't going to eat it.
Well, the case came to light when Michler's daughter received an unusual text message from his phone, which was out of character for him. And that prompted the missing persons investigation, and police eventually found Schneider and Cabuse driving Michler's van, which contained bags of his human remains and blood. A third individual, 25-year-old grave digger, I mean, they've got a full gambit of things here.
Rolling with it.
Loop Ben Rakia is also on trial for complicity. He testified that Schneider instructed him to cook the meat until it falls off the bones.
Okay, that's how we do it.
And to tell anyone who asked what it was food for the dog.
Makes it tender to eat.
Yeah. And
when you cook it, it falls off the bone.
Yeah. And then if it's a squirrel, you still have to, then you bread it and fry it.
Well, you got to pressure cook them because they're so tough.
Yeah.
And then, especially the big fox squirrels, you pressure cook it and then you cut them up. Once it cools, you cut them up and then you batter and fry it.
So Snyder has expressed remorse, stating, "I have no words to express my guilt and my many regrets." And his lawyer described him as someone who had spiraled into a life of alcohol and drugs, leading to this completely crazy idea of burglary.
Well, there you have it. Cook them, serve them up, and get away with it. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. So, but you just reminded me of another story I've been wanting to talk about. And we were going to go stay across. It's time for Worldwide Crime. Yeah, I got a lot of different angles I want to go today because I had a lot of execution stuff that I want to do, but you keep reminding me of other stories that I want to do. We're going to Ireland.
All right.
Ireland. And this guy, Michael Gain, was reported missing from his home in Ireland on March 21st. And the last time he was seen was the day prior. And 56 years old, farmer, and so the cops come out and they look. I'm going to just kind of paraphrase this long AF. They come out and they look for him and, can't really find him and everything. And then, there was this tank with manure in it and they had even emptied it evidently and couldn't find it. But then, 2 months after he's dead. Okay. They find human remains. Where do you think they found him?
In the manure.
That's right. They found it in liquid manure spread across the land almost 2 months after he was reported missing. So he was the last seen, Michael Gaines, 56, was last seen in Kenmare town on March 20th. And he was reported the next day on the 21st missing. Amid the ongoing search, human remains were discovered over the weekend in liquid manure spread across his farm. They hadn't said technically that it's human remains yet, but they know it's going to be, right? So what happened was he was killed and then they cut him up, chunked him up, sliced him up, diced him up and dumped him in his manure tank with slurry for the fertilizer for the field. The police confirmed this is now a homicide investigation and it's now been declared, the whole farm's been declared a crime scene.
I guess so.
And and being a good old homicide investigation, they're a little bit ahead of the game because the cops have already arrested another dude who's in his 50s, and not giving his name. And he is being, I don't know, it must be different in Ireland. They arrest him and can detain him for so long. But they said the homicide investigation led by a senior investigating officer in the serious crime unit, the Kerry Garda division, is ongoing and supported by the Garda National Bureau Investigation. And on Sunday afternoon, 18th of May, a male aged in his 50s has been arrested on suspicion of murder. The male is being detained under the provisions of Section 4 of the Criminal Justice Act 1984, blah, 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 blah. And they're continuing to carry out searches and technical examinations at the victim's farm.
How do you do liquid manure?
I think it's like a shit tank. Not hard shit. You could put in, okay, so
like
you should shovel out all the stalls, throw them in this tank, add water to it, and best fertilizer in the world, right?
Well, like our compost that we have.
Same concept.
Yeah.
And this one, you just put human remains in and it makes your shit grow better.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
No big deal.
So is that why our garden is so fertile this year?
I'm not going to answer that one. All right. So what I do want, y'all have a bunch look, the world is stepping up on the executions. And I know I'm jumping your ship, but I got like 3 or 4 of these to tell. I love a good execution because these motherfuckers deserve it. And now they all been on death row forever. And I don't care how you feel about the death penalty. I'm telling you how I feel. And let me tell you about the one guy, Benjamin Ritchie, 45. Yep. They killed his ass. But he killed a police officer. I'm just going to kind of paraphrase him because otherwise it'd be too long. He killed a police officer and he died by lethal injection. But he says he filed a last-minute stay. He says the execution is wrong because of how he was born.
Yeah.
That's a new one for me, right? I mean,
he wasn't too fat.
He's been on death row for 20 years. And he just says that, hey, you know what? You shouldn't kill me because of the way I was born. But now, we'll tell you the truth. Officer William Toney lost his life 25 years ago serving the community he lived in. This is according to the Beech Grove Police Department. It said, taking a solemn oath to uphold the Constitution and the laws of this great state, that its citizens may lead a peaceful life. His life was violently taken from him by an individual whose actions adversely affected the innocent and ripped at the very fabric that holds society together. And while there is no peace in the execution, there is comfort in the realization that society has kept its promise to the men and women of law enforcement to hold those accountable for their reckless choices and damaging actions so that those still serving find strength knowing that their service is not in vain. And that's the truth. And thankfully, the Indiana Parole Board denied Richie's clemency plea to have his sentence commuted to life without parole. So anyway, I could go on and on about this idiot, but I'm going to tell you about another one. Let's go to South Carolina, and this guy kind of reminds me of Gerald Bordelon, who was the last person executed in the state of Louisiana before Governor Jeff Landry just lined one up about 2 months ago and got him. And Bordelon was in 2012, I think. Well, South Carolina, this old boy is on death row. His name's James D. Robertson. And, you get locked up 23 hours a day. They let you out in your little dog run and you shower. You're on death row. Actually, probably death row is one of the safest places to work in prisons. People don't know that because they're in there for their serious shit and they don't have any interaction, whatever. But he, has been there for a moment and he just became best friends with all the people on death row, some of the people on death row. Okay. And now I told you, I think the other day that South Carolina is lining them up, stacking them up, killing them this year. So they say after his best friend and 4 of his fellow death row inmates have been put to death in less than a year, this South Carolina inmate wants to become his own attorney, which would likely mean his own execution in weeks or months. Now, a federal judge has ordered a 45-day delay in James Robertson's request to have a different lawyer talk to him and make sure he really wants to fire his own attorneys and deal with the likely lethal consequences in his decision. Gerald Bordelon in Louisiana, with the state of Louisiana had to spend a couple of years proving this fucker was sane enough to kill, right? So Robertson, 51, has been on death row since 1999 after killing both his parents in their Rock Hill home. He beat his father with the claw end of a hammer and a baseball bat. And he stabbed his mother. And he tried to make it look like a robbery in hopes he would get his part of their $2.2 million estate. Now, this is not the first time Robertson's fired his lawyers. He's done it before. And not long after he arrived on death row, he wanted to drop his appeals after a card-playing buddy never appealed his death sentence for setting a van on fire with his daughter outside his ex-wife's house, right? So he didn't appeal his, so you know what? I'm going to go ahead and get mine too. But then he changed his mind. So a one-page letter from Robinson landed in federal judge's mailbox on April 7th, 4 days before South Carolina executed its 5th inmate in 7 months. Go South Carolina. It said Robertson and his lawyers had a difference of opinion. I don't want him anymore. It says, since no ethical attorney will withdraw an appeal that will result in their client's execution, Robertson said, he was ready to represent himself. So Robertson's attorney, Emily Pavola, responded in court documents that Robertson wasn't taking his medication for depression, suffered from chronic back pain, I guess from laying on your bunk for 23 hours a day, and a skin condition that made him more depressed. And the poor baby was distressed over those 5 executions that dropped the close-knit death row population from 30 to 25.
Oh,
and he misses his buddies,
baby.
Right?
Gosh.
So included was Robertson's best friend on death row, Marion Bowman Jr., who was killed by a lethal injection on January 31st. Now, Pavola, the lawyer, asked the judge to hold off on Robertson's request for 4 months so he could have a full psychiatric evaluation. He's been on fucking death row for 20 years, but anyway, let's give him another one, to decide if he's mentally competent. Prosecutors suggested the judge could talk to Robertson on her own and decide if he was able to act as his own lawyer, right? But Judge Barry Gordon Baker decided to have a different lawyer talk to Robertson, making sure he understands the implications and consequences of his decision and get back to her in July. So back in the early 2000s, Robertson also sought to drop all of his appeals. He told the judge at the time he thought he got the better end of the deal with a death sentence instead of life in prison without parole. And he had been let down by every lawyer he encountered since his arrest. And the judge asked Robertson at that 2002 hearing about his friend Michael Pesario's decision to volunteer for the death chamber. He says, "It hadn't changed my view. What it did was made me understand enhanced reality a bit. To see my best friend go from one day playing cards with me to the next day not being there anymore, he basically has taken a similar route that I'm choosing to take now. And we spoke often about this decision," right? So volunteers, as they're called in the death penalty circles, have been around since the death penalty was reinstated 50 years ago. And about 10% of all U.S. executions are inmates who agree to die before finishing their appeals. My hat's off to them. For real. I mean, right? Fuck it. If I was in for the shit that they did, I wouldn't want to live on death row for, like Gerald Bordelon for 40 years before they executed me.
The best piece of financial advice I've ever received is to pay yourself first. That's why now with every paycheck I receive, I start by putting a little bit away for those rainy days. Today's episode is sponsored by Acorns. Acorns is a financial wellness app that makes it easy to start saving and investing for your future. Acorns lets you get started with the spare money you've got right now, even if all you've got is spare change. You don't need to be an expert. Acorns recommends a diversified portfolio that can help you weather all of the market's ups and downs. Using Acorns, before I knew it, I had a couple $1,000s in a little nest egg account. Sign up now and join the over 14 million all-time customers who have already saved and invested over $25 billion with Acorns. Head to acorns.com/FMH or download the Acorns app to get started. Paid non-client endorsement. Compensation provides incentive to positively promote Acorns. Tier 1 compensation provided. Investing involves risk. Acorns Advisors, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. View important disclosures at acorns.com/FMH.
Shop the Sherwin-Williams Memorial Day sale and get 30% off paints and stains May 16th through the 26th. With prices starting at $34.29, it's the perfect time to transform your space with color. Whether you're looking to revamp your bedroom, living room, or home office, we have you covered with bold hues, soothing neutrals, and everything in between. Shop the sale online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Click the banner to learn more. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
So anyway, that goes on about that. The couple more quick facts. I won't even go into those stories, or maybe I will. But from 2000 to 2009, 65 of the 590 U.S. executions involved an inmate who dropped their appeals, including Timothy McVeigh. We all know him, the asshole Oklahoma City bomber who killed 148 people. And from 2020 to now, just 7 of the 111 people put to death have been considered volunteers. This ain't volunteering to be a Boy Scout leader. They're volunteering to get your just punishment.
End their suffering.
Right. Well, whatever. The less money we got to pay for them.
I agree.
So the prosecutor who sent Robertson to death row said he can understand why inmates choose to stop fighting their sentences. He said, "If you told me, be incarcerated on death row the rest of your life, or just go ahead and go to the Lord, I might choose the latter too." That's Tommy Pope said that. But Pope said 26 years ago, he also observed a young man with above average intelligence who likes to work the system when he can and often thinks he's smarter than his attorneys. And he says, as usual with Jimmy, it will remain to be seen how it plays out to the very end.
Well,
right?
that says a lot because he knows him by his first name.
Absolutely.
Or whatever
Absolutely.
It was.
He's fucking delaying. He knows about to get his issue. 5 of his homies are missing from the row. And
he's depressed.
I gotta do one more real quick. This is, I love last words and last meals.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I'm gonna tell you why the rules got changed in Texas. All right. Because the assholes know how to play the system. So let's go way back to 20th of June, 1990. All right. I was 20 years old. There was a convicted killer named James Edward Smith, and he's on Texas death row. And he was asked his final meal request. Now, back then, they used to do that. And he's 37 years old. You know what his response was? They called it eerie. His eerie response was deemed so unnerving, however, that in a death row rarity, his culinary plea was denied. Let me tell you what he did for her. I'll tell you what his request was. In the years prior, Smith brutally murdered life insurance worker Larry Don Rojas during an armed robbery. And in March 1983, this Kentucky-born criminal approached the widow of a female bank teller at a Union National Life Insurance Company in Houston, Texas, and he was wearing a mask, slid open the glass, pointed a gun at the employee, and ordered her to hand over vast sums of cash. Well, she said, go fuck yourself. She refused, which she should have done. And Smith turned on another insurance worker, 44-year-old Rojas, who complied with his order, right? Gave him the money. But sadly, despite Rojas pleading with this asshole, Smith went on and shot him twice. One of the shots which hit him in the chest, and he was rushed to the hospital. Rojas was, and of course he died. Smith runs like a little bitch, this time in a taxi, chased by police officers, and they arrested him. And that was, he was charged with murder, blah, blah, blah. So a month after his crimes, he was a month. Imagine how different it was back then. After his crimes, he was found guilty of capital murder and sentenced to death. Now, let's get back to the food. So in death row tradition, when the date was finally set for the execution, the correctional officers go in there and say, what do you want to eat? Right. Angola used to have a guy, his only job was to prepare the last meal for the people about to be executed. So this is what he says. He says, you know what? I want some Rakikunda dirt. You know what that is?
No.
I didn't either. It's a type of soil commonly used in voodoo rituals that Smith believed might assist with his reincarnation. And now, while he's been locked up on death row, he's been known to practice obscure rituals in his cell. Okay. Mm-hmm. So his request was denied by the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. And they said that dirt is not on the approved list of foods.
Gosh.
Okay, how fucking stupid are you? But check this out. This is why he did it. So Smith, they say, Smith, you can't have dirt, homie. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just not on the approved list of foods. That's for worms, not humans. You know what Smith said? He said, I'm going to come back after you murder me, and I'm going to haunt this prison for 300 years.
Well, good for you. Good for you. I'm shaking in my pants.
You stupid motherfucker. Ooh, right? But why 300 and not 299 or 1,000 or a lifetime?
For the rest, yeah.
Right. So a couple days later, they execute.
Then he's still in prison.
Right. They execute. He's still
in prison.
Yeah. Still in prison. Anyway, they executed him a couple days later. You know what his last words were? Hare Krishna.
Oh my gosh.
You can't make that shit up. So the one more in Texas, and because I think it's important, dirt, very unusual. So, but back in 2011, Texas had a fucking enough with asking these motherfuckers what they want for their last meal. Okay. And this will tell you why. There's a white supremacist and murderer named Lawrence Russell Brewer. And they go, this time, Mr. Brewer, it's your time. What would you like for your last meal? And, good now, he's in for the brutal deaths in the 1998 hate killing of James Byrd Jr. And I remember this distinctly. That's where they drugged the black man behind the car and ripped his head off.
Yeah.
So, and I think it was Jasper, Texas. But so he got sentenced for the horrible killing of James Byrd Jr. They go to him and say, Mr. Brewer, what do you want? Brewer says, I want 2 chicken fried steaks. I want a triple meat bacon cheeseburger. I want some fried okra, and don't skimp on it. I want a pound of barbecue. I want a trio of fajitas.
Yes.
I want a meat pizza, and I want a pint of ice cream, and I want a slab of peanut butter fudge for his final meal. And guess what? Texas did it. And they absolutely did it. And they gave him all this food. And then I'll tell you again, 2 chicken fried steaks, triple meat bacon cheeseburger, fried okra, a pound of barbecue, a trio of fajitas, a meat pizza, a pint of ice cream, and a slab of peanut butter fudge. And they bring it to his cell. And Brewer says, go fuck yourself. I'm not taking a bite of any of it.
He's evil.
Right? I mean, these motherfuckers are the ones that, they're not up there for regular murder. They're up there for the most heinous crimes that have ever been committed. They've been sentenced not to breathe anymore. And you know what? Brewer refused to eat a single bite. And State Senator John Whitmire, and it's been held up since now, demanded that Texas prison officials end the 87-year-old tradition of giving them whatever the fuck they want to eat.
I agree.
Yeah.
I've often wondered why they even allow that. Like, why would you want to give him some great last meal? I mean, he's not Jesus with the Last Supper.
They're going to put a diaper on him anyway. He's going to shit on himself when they kill him.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, if I was making the last meal, I might be like the woman at that Dollar General. I might be peeing in it.
If you're making it for the killer?
For the killer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
he will get contaminated food.
It's convicts that make the food.
You said at Angola, there was a special person. So it was a convict.
That's convict. He was a trustee. His only job was to, but besides when dignitaries came in, that they brought him into this fancy place that they have built. His job used to be to cook whatever the last request was from the inmates.
Okay, I thought it was like a special show.
So like the public service announcement 10,001, the prisoners are forced to cook their own food.
Well, I knew that, but
including the ones that are being executed.
Yeah, and
they oftentimes, when I worked there anyway, they have at least one civilian employee and a correctional officer sign in the kitchen, and they have to sign out their knives and do whatever, and is what it is. There you go. Anyway, another dude got executed this week too. And you know what he did? And I don't know if he said this asshole's name. He went in to rob a convenience store. Mm-hmm. Little grandma worked behind the counter. Oh. And he demands the money. You know what he uses as a weapon? He grabbed a bottle of lighter fluid and he sprayed her down with the lighter fluid and demanded the money. She gave him the money. He still lit her on fire.
That is disgusting.
Burned her, not to death instantly. Took her 3 days to die. And guess what? He just got himself executed by his state. So it could go on and on. It seems like the dates with death are warming up. Yeah. As they should be. Yeah. So anyway, hope y'all enjoyed it. We love y'all. Love you. Tomorrow we're doing a special drop. If all goes according to plan, #Justice for Haley. Oh, wait till we tell you all the stuff that happened in the case. Now, she had a phone call with the district attorney. We'll explain that. Then we got to tell you the shit that's happened since then. Right. And then we're going to do a call to action. And it's going to be a good call to action. Right. And love and appreciate every one of y'all. You got anything, Mama? Nope. And with that, we are finished. And I'm Woody Overton.
I'm Cyndi Overton.
It's true crime time for this Thirsty Thursday. We'll holler at y'all later. Peace.
Shop the Sherwin-Williams Memorial Day sale and get 30% off paints and stains May 16th through the 26th. With prices starting at $34.29, it's the perfect time to transform your space with color. Whether you're looking to revamp your bedroom, living room, or home office, we have you covered with bold hues, soothing neutrals, and everything in between. Shop the sale online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Click the banner to learn more. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Memorial Day deals are here at Lowe's. Get up to 40% off select major appliances, including Samsung. Plus, save an extra $50 on every $500 you spend on select major appliances $396 or more. Like the Samsung Bespoke AI Laundry Combo, the largest capacity, fastest, all-in-one laundry combo available that washes and dries in one machine. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid 5/15 through 6/18. Selection varies by location. Total savings varies based on purchase amount. See Lowe's.com for details.